Okay, here we are on the notes for 4.10, writing and expanding multiplication expressions. So make sure you're looking at the right page in your packet. You might have to flip over to page 5. So write each expression using the fewest number of symbols and characters. Use math terms to describe the expressions and parts of the expression. Okay, so really all we're doing, this is 6 times b. So when we have a number and a letter, we can take out that multiplication sign. So this would just become 6b. Okay. In the next one, we would want to multiply the numbers first. So 4 times 3 would be 12. And then again, we take out that dot, so it'd just be 12h. Okay. Part C, so I have 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. And then A, B. And then in the next one, so my numbers are separated. They have a letter in between. That's okay. I'm still going to multiply 5 times 3, which is 15. And then my M and P. And then my last one, the one, we don't have to put it, we can just put GW. If there's no number in front of the letter, it's always just kind of assumed that it's a 1, okay? So if you take a look at this page, a few things to notice. The numbers always go in the front, the letters always go at the end, and the letters in general usually go in alphabetical order, okay? Not a big deal if you forget that sometimes, but it's just the way our minds tend to work is we want to put things in order. Okay, so that's the first page. If you flip to the second page on example 2, now here we're doing the opposite. We're expanding the multiplication expressions. We will rewrite the expressions by including the dot back into the expression. Okay, so we've talked about not using the x because x is a letter now, so we want to use the dot. So we're kind of pulling apart the numbers. Imagine some of you have done factor trees before. So 5, we can't pull apart the 5. We're not going to do 5 times 1. So this would just be 5 with the dot times g. Okay, same thing with the number 7. We can't pull that apart. So this would be 7 times A times B times C. Now with the number 12, we can pull it apart. So think of two things that multiply to make 12. Maybe we could do 3 times 4. So 3 times 4 times g. And then you should always double check, can I pull apart any of those numbers any further? And yes, 4 is 2 times 2. So we could do 3 times 2 times 2 times g. Okay, so remember some of you have made these trees before, I believe. 3 and a 4. And then we separate this into 2 and the 2, and we want to use these circle numbers. All right. So the 3 we cannot pull apart, but the first thing I want to do is put all the numbers at the front. So 3 times 8 times h. And now I can pull apart my 8 into 3 2s. So 3 times 2 times 2 times h. Okay, and maybe you have to do a factor tree off to the side. So 4 times 2, split up the 4, so that's how I get the 3 2s. And then the last one, again, I want to put the numbers to the front. So 7 times 9 times g times h. I can't pull apart the 7, but I can pull apart the 9. So I would get 7 times 3 times 3 times g times h. Okay? And then in this last section, just using words. So find the product of 4f and 7g. So remember, product means to multiply. So 4 times 7 is 28, and then FG. Next one straight up says to multiply. So 3 times 9 would be 27, and it would be DEYZ. And now the last one, double the product of 6y and 3bc. So I have to do the product of 6y times 3bc. And now I'm going to double it, which means I'm going to multiply it by 2. So order of operations, we'll do the parentheses first. So 6 times 3 is 18. So we get 18 BCY times 2. And then 2 times 18 would be 36. And we get BCY. Okay? And then that's all we'll do for now. So the hardest part sometimes is the pulling it apart. Usually the multiplying way is much easier, but we'll do some more practice together in class.